Welcome to CUTV News Radio, where our hosts Doug Llewellyn and Jim Masters talk to today's top thinkers from all around the world to bring you information, inspiration, and thought-provoking ideas that you can put to use in your personal or professional life right now. Covering a broad range of topics, we dig deep to discover what makes today's top thinkers tick. CUTV News Radio. It's the show where ideas matter. And now, here's today's host, Doug Llewellyn.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back. Nice to have you with us today. Hey, we have somebody who's very, very interesting today. First off, let me preface it this way. How are you feeling today? You feel good? Do you have aches and pains? Are you depressed? Do you have some kind of issue that you just can't get it to go away to help you feel better? Well, we have somebody who might be able to help you today. We have with us Tarra Bennett. She's the founder of Healing from Within. Hers is a metaphysical ministry dedicated to helping people heal the body by healing the mind, and it works. She is a Pathways of Light ordained minister. She's a wellness counselor. She is a healing practitioner. And she has learned through the experience of working with clients and also from personal experience by healing herself from such thing as claustrophobia, eczema, irritable bowel syndrome, and the work she offers is very effective. She says most of the clients that come to her do so because other methods have not worked for them, and they're open to trying something else in hopes of experiencing a healing. And I must tell you, I have looked at her website, I've read it in pretty much in depth, and I've looked at a lot of the testimonials that are on her website. You can look at them too, and they are incredible. So we will get into that in a little bit, but she has helped clients who suffer from everything from depression, Hodgkin's lymphoma, suicidal tendencies, constipation, asthma, addictions, indigestion, shoulder pain, back pain, chronic pain, insomnia, enlarged prostate, and allergies. That's just a partial list of the kinds of things that people have been suffering from who've had help by talking to her. And as she points it out, together they venture to identify the cause, working through it, and releasing it, thereby creating space for the body to heal. Every illness is an invitation for the body to heal the mind. And Tarra says the important part of healing is being willing and open to the potential of recognizing the body has its own internal intelligence. It's important to take responsibility and trust the process. And she also says a miracle for her was seeing the potential of the body to heal itself. In other words, if you put the right fertilizer in the soil, you're going to get the perfect garden. And she's not talking about food. So I think this could be very fascinating. I'm looking forward to chatting with her, and we're going to bring her on the line right now. Again, her name is Tarra Bennett. Her practice is called Healing from Within. Healing from Within. That, by the way, is also her website, healingfromwithin.ca. And she's located in St. John's, Newfoundland. So it's a delight to have her on the line with us. Good morning, Tarra. How are you?
Good morning, Doug. I'm really good, thank you, and thank you for having me on your show today.
Well, you are very, very welcome. I'm excited to talk to you because I think you're into something that's pretty doggone fascinating. And I know there are a lot of people who have problems. You know, they have aches and pains and ills that they just can't seem to get rid of. Tell me a little bit about what you do and how you help clients. First off, how did you get into this? What did you do to become a metaphysical minister and the other, things that you have, the lists behind your name that you are? How do you help people? You're a wellness counselor, as I said, a healing practitioner. You're a lot. You're a special lady, so welcome. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Sure. Yeah, so what brought me here to this place was my own suffering. It was my own suffering that brought me to this place. And when I started on this path, I was able to heal myself, and in having healed myself, I wanted to share that with others. So I just started studying and spent many years studying, and as you can see with being with the credentials that I have and just branched out from there. And it's been an amazing journey, or healing not only, like I say, myself from different conditions, and then also working with clients and seeing the potential of the body to heal itself without any influence from anything other than shifting our consciousness, shifting our minds, shifting our thought patterns. It's just been so fascinating for me.
You point out you suffered from claustrophobia. That's not a disease or anything like that. That's just an issue. At least I must tell you, I don't know much about claustrophobia. I know that people go in a closet and they get scared because they're closed in, or they don't want to go to into a doctor's office and have an MRI because you're enclosed in a little tube. They don't like to be confined. How do you cure yourself of that?
Well, it's the same. Whether it's a mental condition or it's a physical condition, it's all a state of the mind. So the work that I do is healing the body through healing the mind. And so for me, whether it was claustrophobia or irritable bowel syndrome, it was the same thing that I had to do, was to go in and heal my mind, heal my thought pattern. And it was healing my thought pattern that allowed me to, there was a time when I couldn't go to the grocery store. There was a time when I couldn't go shopping, couldn't travel, living in Toronto and not able to get on a bus or a subway, not able to get on an elevator. The healing was a result of having healed my mind, no different than the irritable bowel syndrome. The condition went away when my mind was healed. So that's where we start. That's where, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, I find that amazing. Tell me about eczema. Now, that's a whole different issue. You had eczema and you were able to help yourself with that?
Oh my goodness, yeah. That was really scary. That was really scary for me because one thing is to have irritable bowel syndrome. No one knows. You walk out, you go to your office, you work with a client, but eczema is right on your body. It shows up. It's not pretty to look at. And again, it was the same thing. It was healing the mind. And, if you look at, some of the other people that I've worked with, my clients that I've worked with over the years, and I've been doing this work for years, and the thing that blows me away at the end of the day is that we are all, the essence of our being is love. And what we get tripped up into thinking that we're something else. But the essence, and when I've worked with people that have been abused physically, emotionally, they've all been able to come to that place of love and being able to just access that within themselves. And when they see the truth, it's basically the healing is shifting our minds from the lies to the truth. And what does that mean? Wow, the truth about what's happening, the truth about who we are and what we are. I know that sounds really general, but go ahead.
I was going to say, it is kind of general. Let's talk about specifically what kind of tools do you use to help people? And, I read the list of the kinds of things that people have been helped with who've come to see you, from depression, suicide, constipation. It goes on. And even enlarged prostate. I didn't even know you could feel that, an enlarged prostate. And allergies, too, something else. What do you do? Give me an idea how you work.
Okay, so again, let's take the enlarged prostate, because I will never forget that gentleman that came to me, and he had been, he got his diagnosis from the doctor and had been for 2 years going every 3 months for a checkup to see whether or not, the condition had gotten worse or if it was stabilized, and it was kind of staying at the same place. It hadn't gotten so enlarged that they needed to do anything, but it was enlarged enough that they needed to monitor it. And literally one session, and 3 months later, when that gentleman went back to his doctor, his prostate was back to its normal size. And it's just amazing. It's working through, and also, as we know, stored emotions, following the truth and going back to the truth is, if I'm lying to myself about a situation, and when I'm lying to myself about a situation, then I'm extremely emotional, that when I say I am, I'm meaning all of us. And so it's releasing, accessing and releasing those stored emotions. And it's not just the emotions, it's a thought pattern, it's a way of life. It's no different for healing. And when I say I give my clients tools, it's to start, no different than we have to, every day we have to eat. So it's taking care of the physical body, let's take care of the spiritual side aspect of things. And so it's being mindful to meditate, being mindful to be aware of what we're seeing, what we're thinking, being mindful to be aware of what thoughts I'm believing. It's taking charge of our life. It's being responsible for our life, stepping in and not just handing it over and say, okay, I have this problem. Will you fix it for me, please? And that's what I was talking about and what you had shared earlier, Doug. That's what I was meaning about taking responsibility. And in order to do that, there's certain things, certain patterns that we have to set up for ourselves. It's following a routine, waking up with the intention and the decision, not even so much the intention, is deciding today is a great day for me. Today I'm going to experience peace. I'm going to access that and following that. And then from there you go into doing your meditation, setting the tone for the day, and then allowing the day to unfold and just being the observer as well.
Well, let's talk about an example of someone who comes to see you for the first time. And I should point out, you're in St. John's, Newfoundland, which you're far away from New York or Miami or Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, whatever. But you work with people on the telephone and Skype. You have clients literally all over the world, don't you? And you do this with, I guess, Skype primarily, right?
Yeah, yes, it's true. I work with people in South Africa, in China, a lot in the U.S., in Canada, all over really. I have clients, and that's the amazing thing with technology now. I can work with anyone, anywhere.
So what do you do when a client first comes to you? Explain to me the process you go through with them to find out, number one, you got to build trust with them, I guess, but you have to find out what their ailments are, and then what happens?
Okay, so it's an interesting thing to say to build trust, because usually the client will come. They come to me because they trust me. So it might have been word of mouth, or it's just a feeling, or they've already kind of usually when a person's sitting in front of me, whether it's in China or in person in Canada, they already have gotten to that point. Okay, so they trust the work, and oftentimes it's that they've gone and look for healing other places, and it wasn't happening. But anyways, okay, so let's see what happens. We sit down. The first thing we do is talk about, okay, why are you here? What is it that you want to work on? And, and from there, once I get what it is that we're wanting to work on today, then I get the client to close their eyes, and we do a little meditation to relax. Well, then once they're relaxed, I work on a cellular level. So I basically journey in with my client. We go right into the cells. So if it's like, for instance, when I had someone recently that had tremendous pain in the left side, and they had spent the last 5 years with this discomfort, going to a family doctor and blood tests and colonoscopies and ultrasounds and chiropractor and energy work, and also had been suggested about a diet, changing your diet, no fried foods, no high fats, and seeing a naturopath, and many, many, many treatments, and going on a strictly vegetarian diet with just rice protein, and then also when none of that stuff was working, they thought, well, okay, then we have to investigate your home, and let's see, maybe there's something in the materials in your home. Make a long story short, when they finally got to me, after 3 processes, the pain is gone. So what do? We actually, in that case, the cells reveal to us. Now, it doesn't happen. It's great to have, a facilitator. For myself, too, I work with a facilitator if I've got issues that's going on. It's great to have a facilitator, because what happens oftentimes is the information is in the subconscious. However, the body doesn't lie. So when we go in through the body will reveal. I facilitate, and the body will reveal to my client. I don't say anything. I don't tell anything. I allow for the body to reveal the information that's needed. Then when we get the information that we need, we work with that information and shift it from the perception, from it being a perception of what actually is there to what was in fact the truth of what was there. So we work with what has showed up. And from there, then we just, I do a follow-up and I send my client all the information because oftentimes, we forget. I do a follow-up, send the client the information, and we have rapport and follow-up for the next maybe week or two. And if the person is completely healed, that's great. If not, we do another couple of sessions. And sometimes if I'm working with the pain body, so to speak, is wonderful. I love working with pain because pain is so easy to fix. Whoa. I
love the way you say that. Pain is so easy to fix. Look, you have a testimonial on your website. That's pretty interesting. This is from Frank, who says, I've spent the last 8 months trying to get some relief from my left arm and shoulder pain, and after x-rays, ultrasounds, MRIs, 3 different chiropractors, physiotherapy, and acupuncture, nothing seemed to be working. I want you to know I did 1.5 weeks after my session with you, and there's been 80% improvement. And my doctor said today, given this huge change, I should be back to normal in a week or so. Thank you very much. How about that? Now,
yeah, isn't that awesome?
That's very rapid. I mean, it's his body is curing himself. Is that it?
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is it's not anything that I'm doing. Doug, I'd love to say, yeah, look how great Tarra is. She's doing this work. This information has been around for, centuries, as we know. I mean, this is what Jesus talked about. This is what Buddha talked about 500 years before Jesus. This is what, guys like, I guess Dr. Bruce Lipton or Candace Burth or even Deepak Chopra or all those guys, Ernest Holmes, Joel Goldsmith. The information has been there. The body has the ability to heal itself. And that's really what it's not about, I'm not really soliciting business. I just want people to know and understand that the potential is there to heal yourself. And so maybe to access, to go, I've worked with people with cancer that have healed. And just to give you an example, I spoke with a lady yesterday, and her husband has cancer, and she's, not just, anyways. And she said, yeah, he's gone back in. This is like the 3rd time. And I said, I'd be so happy to work with him. And she said, oh, no, I've been in the medical field for so long, and that's the work I do. And so that's where we're going to stay. And so I said, maybe you want to try both. And so I'm just, and she wasn't open to that, and that's fine. I respect that. I just want to, for people that are, that have a condition, is reach out. If you have to go the medical route, that's great, but look at the alternative and try both. Because we do have, the body is capable of healing itself, and I see it over and over and over again. It's just incredible. And when, it tells us here that, the adrenaline from an emotional event in our lives is such a stressor that it can have such a major impact on our health. We can, and so where does that, the emotion come from? It comes from a number of things, like, hardships and just different things that's happened to us that we just kind of, go back to work, or we distract ourselves, or we put on the music, or whatever it is that we need to do to distract ourselves from feeling what's here. All it's inviting us to do is allow yourself to feel what's here. Let the energy pass through. Illness is nothing more than stored, blocked energy that hasn't been able to pass to no different than a river that gets blocked up, with debris. Sickness really is just an internal conflict. And it's just a conflict within the mind that needs to be resolved. And once you resolve that conflict in your mind, the illness goes away.
Is it hard to do that? I mean, what do you do to get people to be open to that and learn how to do it?
Well, I think it's like the first time for me when I went for a process myself. All I had to hear was that someone healed themselves, and I went, oh my goodness, what is that? Because I'm such, a seeker of truth. I want to know what it is. What's this world all about? What am I here to do? What am I here to learn? And I just like, wow. So anybody that's reaching out to this kind of work generally is, because you have a desire to, or it's like when you've suffered enough. It's like I said to my sister once, it was really cute. I said, she was going through some stuff, and I said, hey, listen, would you like a process? I'll gladly do a process with you. And she goes, no, I'm fine. I go, well, it's because you haven't suffered enough. Anyway, she laughed. A year later, she phones me up and says, I'm ready. When we suffer enough, then we reach out.
Yeah. How long do you typically work with clients? Now, I read a testimonial. You helped somebody in 1.5 weeks there, 2 weeks. Typically, though, how long do you work with clients before they begin to feel some sort of relief?
Oh, my goodness. So, the guy with the prostate was one session, which took an hour and a half.
My God.
This work is not long term. It's so amazing. It's not now. There are, like there was one naturopath I was working with, and she had depression, and it took, she saw me every week for a year. However, if you're working with depression, sometimes it can take longer. It doesn't have to. But when you're working with pain, and that's why I love it, because it's so fast. I can get right to what's caused that, what's creating that. And once the light's on there, it goes away. It can happen so fast. And it does happen really fast. And so it's not ongoing. Like I don't have to see people for years, or for months. 3 or 4 treatments and they're healed.
Well, if I were to come to you and said, look, I've got a really serious shoulder pain and I can't get rid of it, what would happen in your office? And obviously it's nothing. You don't touch somebody because you can do this for somebody in China, and you're in St. John's, Newfoundland. So what do? You just talk to me?
Well, yeah. We talk, and I do have a sense of, a sixth sense of what to guide the questions and to ask, and it's, there's a process that I'll take you through there where it will be revealed to you what the cause is of your condition. And once you get to know what caused your condition, then you go, okay, well, I'm not going to stick with that, then we make the changes. But it's all done. It's not, I don't touch anyone. They sit down like you say, it's not hands-on. And it's just a process that I take people through, and at the end, the body heals itself. And, like the cells, I think the eye cells take 3 days to heal. I think the liver takes, this is a great thing, Doug. Do I have time to tell you the story?
Please, yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
So the liver takes usually 6 months. But anyways, when I started doing this work, and I'm thinking, well, okay, I work with some guy or person that's got cancer or that's got, shoulder pain. And so they come and see me and they heal like 3 weeks later, 3 months later, or if someone saw me with cancer, how would they know 6 months later or a year later that it was the process they had with Tarra that healed them, yeah? So It was like the universe presented it so beautifully to me when I very first started. One of my very first clients that came to me said, oh my goodness, I can't move, like the neck, couldn't move the neck one way or the other. And it's in the testimonials, and I love telling the story. And so anyways, I said, oh, okay. He said, I've been to see doctors. I don't know, the testimonial there, you might have read it, Doug, this might be familiar to you. But anyways, he went to see his doctor, and he went for massage, and nothing was working. And he also took medication for it because he was a contractor, and he needed to be on the job. And it was 2.5 weeks or something that he couldn't move his neck, so it was really slowing down what was happening for him. Anyways, he came. An hour and a half later. So this is like my first client. And it was like the universe gave me this to know how effective the work is. And an hour and a half later, he turned his head to the left, to the right, up and down, and he said, oh, my goodness. He walked out. It was like I needed to see that. That's how effective it was. It happened instantly before my eyes.
My gosh. That's amazing. That's just amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Shocked even you, huh?
Well, it was just like it was the validation that I needed to see, to say, yes, this is effective, and yeah, this works. It's incredible.
The list of different ailments that you've been able to help people with is kind of impressive. Is there any area that you cannot help somebody with? I mean, if somebody comes in and says, look, I got this problem, would you say that, look, I can't help that? You got to go see somebody else. I mean, there may be some physical, thing where they have to see a doctor to get relief. But basically, how would you answer that? Are you open to trying to help people for anything?
Well, what a great question, because, sickness is in the mind, and that's the root of it is in the mind, and then it lodges in the body. So there is no sickness that can't be cured once we heal the mind. As everything. So it's, and however, there's one thing though. Sometimes people are not ready to be healed. There's a lot of benefits in being sick sometimes. And so sometimes people, as much as it's causing a lot of discomfort, they're not ready to be healed. And so if they're not ready to be healed, then the healing won't take place. This has to happen on an organic level where their mind and body is totally in sync, and it's like, yes, I'm so done with this condition. And sometimes if we're not ready to, on an emotional level, the healing won't take place.
Well, how do you know when somebody's ready to be healed or not? How do you tell?
Well, usually by the time they get to me, they are.
Is that because you're like a last resort? They've tried everything else, and they come to you because nothing else has worked? Would that be right?
Well, that's part of it. And the other part is because the people come to me are ready for healing. I've known people in my personal life, not so much in my practice, because usually people that arrive are ready. But, the person gets so identified with the illness and with the condition, they become that. Their whole life is that. And I never forget, I was working with this gentleman, and he said, oh, no, don't. We don't have to heal everything today, do we?
Why not?
I want to stay a little bit sick so I can keep coming to the doctor, right?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you're amazing. These stories are amazing, and obviously there's something to it because the testimonials just say it all, that you've been able to help so many different people for so many different situations. We only have like a minute or so left, but I'm just wondering, are you surprised yourself at how effective you can be at helping others who have these issues they just can't seem to get rid of?
Well, I don't so much see it personally. I'm just amazed at the fact that the body can heal, and the only real obstacle that's there is our minds. And so it's just it's people trusting in that and believing in it. Somehow it's getting that, it's getting that awareness out there. I mean, can you imagine if overnight that, everyone became aware of what's going on and how the body can and does heal itself once we change our thought pattern? I mean, the whole medical system would fall apart.
No kidding. Well, look, we've been chatting with Tarra Bennett. Her practice is called Healing from Within. She's located in St. John's, Newfoundland. If you live in St. John's, you can go around the corner and see her. But better yet, go to her website. It's a wonderful website with a lot of great information, healingfromwithin.ca. You got it? healingfromwithin.ca. Tarra, thank you. This has been amazing, and I love chatting with you, and thank you so much for being with us. it's just great that you can help people in so many different situations. So good luck to you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay?
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate you having me. Thanks, Doug. Take care.
You're very welcome. That's it, everybody. I'm Doug Llewellyn. See you next time here on CUTV News Radio. Have a great day, and bye-bye for now.